This is a stimulus check and stimulus package update. In this video, we'll talk about how the Democrats are finally willing to pass a smaller stimulus package now and then have another one passed later on in January. Republicans are now proposing a new stimulus bill that they're drafting, and it does not include stimulus checks. Also, some people are eligible for up to $1,200 in hazard pay. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you could do me a favor, hit the like button down below so that YouTube could share this video with more people. Let's get started. So it looks like the post office drama might have come to an end. So according to Fox News, Postmaster just said that there will be no changes to the U.S. Postal Service until after the election. So Postmaster General Louis DeJoy said yesterday that to avoid even the appearance of any impact on election mail, I'm suspending these initiatives until after the election is concluded. He then further says that everything is going to remain the same with the post office and there will be no changes. If you weren't aware, there was a lot of U.S. Postal Service controversy between President Trump and the Democrats. President Trump accused the Democrats of election fraud coming up because of the mail-in vote. The Democrats accused President Trump of election fraud because of Postmaster Louis DeJoy having changes happen that could delay the mail even more. Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats were so concerned about these U.S. Postal Service changes that she decided to bring them back to Washington, D.C. from their taxpayer-funded vacation so that they could pass an act so that there are no changes to the U.S. Postal Service for the election coming up. Now, the irony here is that Nancy Pelosi called an emergency meeting for the House to come back to Congress, to come back to Washington, D.C. to pass something that relates to re-election. Not to pass something that relates to stimulus and help out the American people, but it's regarding re-election. Now, in terms of stimulus negotiations, the good news here is that yesterday Nancy Pelosi said that we're willing to cut our bill in half to meet the needs right now. We'll take it up again in January. So this is a different tone of negotiations. The reason why this is great news is because Nancy Pelosi is finally willing to pass something now just to help out the American people right now, and then they could discuss the rest of the other details of the stimulus package later on. She's saying as much as January. Before, she was saying she did not want to piecemeal and pass certain things now and discuss other things later. Now she's willing to do that, which is great because that's what the Republicans have been saying has been saying for weeks, to pass something now and we'll discuss the other things later. Nancy Pelosi says we have to come to that agreement now. The reason why is because October 1st is the deadline for the entire budget of the country. This is around the time when government shutdowns happen. And it's already a messy negotiation to begin with between the Republicans and Democrats to decide how much money the government is going to get for the following year. And to stack on these stimulus negotiations will probably make those stimulus negotiations delay even longer. So if they don't do this now before the messy budget negotiations, it's most likely not going to happen for a longer time. And to make matters worse, Congress is officially on vacation until mid-September, which means they could use this vacation time to start negotiating the budget, start negotiating the stimulus package now before it's too late. They get back mid-September, and then they only have 2 weeks to do so much work before the October 1st deadline. So let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Is Nancy Pelosi saying that she wants to pass something now and do other things later? Is this a good sign, or is this just talk as usual? Let me know what you think. Moving on, the Senate GOP is drafting a new stimulus bill that has U.S. Postal Service funding, but does not have stimulus check funding. So here are the details of what we know so far. So this isn't completely official until it comes out written. We don't know officially yet, but this is what they're saying. So it'll have $10 billion for U.S. Postal Service. The Democrats wanted $25 billion, but said that they're okay with $10 billion. So that's a good sign they could agree on that. They also want liability protection, which will protect businesses from COVID-related cases, $105 billion for schools, and more money for the Paycheck Protection Program. They also want an extension of the enhanced unemployment insurance, but it'll be reduced to $300 per week. This is completely independent of President Trump's executive order. But it does not include stimulus checks. Before, Republicans were on board with $1,200 stimulus checks. Democrats were on board with that. Now with this new bill, a skinny version of their HEALS Act, there is no stimulus checks. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. For weeks, Republicans have been on board with a second stimulus check. Now they're pulling back. What do you think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. And Steve Mnuchin said yesterday, hopefully since Speaker Pelosi is coming back to look at postal, hopefully she'll be more interested in sitting down. And then he also said that the GOP agreed to increase its offer in several different areas. So hopefully a deal finally comes about over the next few days. I think it's ridiculous that it's taken this long just to provide stimulus checks and aid to the American people while so many families and kids are struggling. So this just came out yesterday. Parents are going into debt to pay for kids' breakfast and lunches. So a lot of families rely on the school system to provide breakfast and lunch either for free or at a low cost. Because a lot of parents were forced to do homeschooling because of the pandemic, a lot of parents and families can't afford to feed their kids. The reason for the debt is because of the higher grocery prices and for the homeschooling that has been happening. Before the pandemic, around 30 million children were being fed daily breakfast and lunch through these school programs. Now that these programs aren't going on anymore, these kids are starving. Parents can barely afford to pay for their meals, but yet there are still some people who are against these stimulus. For example, Ted Cruz has been a big critic of the stimulus package in general. He said, "I think it's likely that you'll see a number of Republicans in opposition to this bill and expressing serious concerns." So even Mitch McConnell said that many Republicans, around 15 to 20, are against any stimulus money going to the American people, stimulus checks or anything like that. They do not support that at all. Regardless of whatever stimulus package that the Democrats and Republicans come to an agreement on, there's still going to be around 15 to 20 Republicans that do not support it at all and will vote against it. In other news, I came across this article and just had to share with you. So North Koreans are ordered by Kim Jong-un to hand over their pet dogs for meat among the food shortages that are happening in North Korea. So everybody in North Korea who has a pet dog, they have to release it to the government so that they can feed their people. I'm speechless. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Some other news just came out. So HUD, Housing Urban Development, said that they are going to extend the foreclosure ban, which will protect 8.1 million house owners until 2021. So now this is just people who own houses and who have a mortgage. This doesn't protect any renters or the 44 million Americans who were protected under the first stimulus package under the CARES Act. The eviction moratorium expired and evictions are happening. Unfortunately, President Trump's executive order to help out with eviction isn't doing anything. It was more of a suggestion for HUD or other departments to stop evictions, but there is no legal protection. There's no rental assistance money that is going towards these evictions. So evictions are happening on a regular basis. Hopefully something happens soon to help out the 44 million Americans who are on the brink of eviction. Fortunately, there are a lot of states, cities, counties, and towns that are offering their own rental assistance program. For example, Austin, Texas, as of August 19th, which is today, they are offering a rental assistance program. If you wanted to see if there were any local rental assistance programs in your area, I put together this spreadsheet after weeks, months, hours of research. I've compiled all these news sightings that I've found thanks to your comments that you leave down in the comments below of places to look up. And I've compiled this spreadsheet. It's 100% free. There's a link down in the description below to get it completely free to check and see if your area has any rental assistance programs. Now, some good news in terms of hazard pay. Governor Wolf of Pennsylvania just said that there's going to be $50 million in hazard pay grants for frontline workers. So anyone who makes less than $20 an hour is eligible for the $1,200 in hazard pay over a 12-week period. And the grant also supports a $3 an hour pay raise for 41,000 workers who works in these categories here: healthcare, food manufacturing, security, janitorial. So hazard pay at the moment is just on a local basis. It's either state, county, town. That spreadsheet, I also have hazard pay in that as well, but there is no national hazard pay at the moment. The next stimulus package might or might not include hazard pay, but it is just local at this point. And if you're looking for another free money opportunity, if you sign up through Webull, you get 2 free stocks. In my personal experience, the highest stock I've gotten was $30, lowest maybe around $4. If you want a 3rd free stock, you could sign up through Robinhood. Highest with that I've gotten was $12, lowest was $4. Also, I compiled a free spreadsheet down in the comments below that has a lot of these other free money opportunities where personally I've gotten around $200 to $300 just for signing up for these free programs. If you want to get started investing but don't think you have enough money, if you click this video over here, I go over what fractional shares are, where you could just spend $1 to invest in a company like Amazon, which costs $3,000. You could just invest in it with $1, $5, whatever you have, just to get started so you can make your money start to grow with you. You could click that link right over here, or if you want more second stimulus check updates, you could click this playlist down over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.